Who wants to be the next Italian wine ambassador? Join an exclusive network of 400 Italian wine ambassadors across 48 countries. Vinitaly International Academy is coming to Chicago on October 19th to 21st, and to Almaty, Kazakhstan from November 16th to 18th. Don't miss out. Register now at vinitaly.com.
Welcome to this special Italian wine podcast broadcast. This episode is a recording off Clubhouse, the popular drop-in audio chat. This Clubhouse session was taken from the Wine Business Club and Italian Wine Club. Listen in as wine lovers and experts alike engage in some great conversation on a range of topics in wine. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinepodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. And remember to subscribe and rate our show wherever you tune in.
Okay, everybody, my name's Stevie Kim, and welcome back to the Ambassadors Corner. This is what we call the fireside chat with one of the Italian wine producers chosen by one of your Italian wine ambassadors at large. And today, our host is Alessandro Boga. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Where are you?
I'm in muggy Miami right now.
Where is that?
Yeah, it's a little south in Florida. You probably heard of that place.
I don't think I've been to Florida in 10 years.
You should come back. Things have changed quite a bit.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. You know what I mean?
It's all right. We can turn you around. It's fine.
But are you living there now?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's been 3 years. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
my
I live on a plane more than anything because I'm always traveling. But yes.
Rimini.
Yeah.
So, when I met, for those of you who are less familiar with Alessandro Boga, now he's kind of the big manager at Wilson Daniels, an importer, and managing mostly Italian wines and estates. He's kind of the big dog now. But when I met him, he was little, and he was working for Gino Colangelo.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Thanks for calling me a big dog. I'm more of a dog than big, but it's... and he had the hard knock school because his client first was, of course, our friend Marco Caparai. Yes.
So
a good friend of ours.
Yes, and you had to learn it the hard way. You had a fast track to learning how to deal with Italian wine producers.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
But I've been blessed to work with great producers, so it made my life easier. Very nice people. Very nice people.
Okay, so he studied wine, but the most important thing is, it's actually kind of a funny story. He showed up. He signed up for the Vinitaly International Academy, the New York edition. When was that? What year was that?
It was 2019.
Right. So it was 19, and I was like, oh, he's never going to pass. I never took him seriously. And then, surprise, he passed the exam. I was very pleasantly surprised, and I have now some respect for Alessandro Boga, this young man who has become slightly older. How old are you now?
I'm going to hit the big 40 in less than a month.
Oh, my goodness. What are you going to do?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably just start crying because I'm going to get into my 40s.
You'll remember that when you turn 50.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wait for another 10 years.
Just enjoy,
yes.
And embrace.
Yes, absolutely. As always.
I remember when I turned 40 many, many years ago. I don't want to date myself, but I was actually in Miami, and Ritz-Carlton had just opened. It was like a soft opening, and everything was wrong. Everything went very badly. And of course, I was with my sister, and she wrote this very lovely letter to the management, as she does ordinarily. And so they comped me 7 days, and I returned after that. So that's a
Oh,
kind of a funny story. And that was my 40th birthday, actually, in Miami. Yeah, I don't know. Is Ritz-Carlton still around?
it is still around, yes, but things have changed quite a bit. That's why I'm telling you, you should come back down
Okay.
and maybe do a V Academy down here, you know?
You think there are enough people who could be
Oh, I think
interested?
so. I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
we
lot
can
more
talk.
fine wine now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that later. So let's get on to the show. Today's show, your guest is Gianluca Bisol with the mustache.
Ciao Stevie, how are
Ciao
you?
Gianluca, come stai?
Very, very well. Molto, molto bene.
Okay. So is Bisol one of your clients
Yes.
for
We are
Wilson Daniels?
correct. We represent Bisol 1542 and JO as two of our suppliers. Correct.
Okay. All right. So I guess that's the reason why you picked Gianluca today.
Well, it's actually one of the reasons that I picked Gianluca is because Gianluca is really one of the longest relationships I have in the business because we
Aha!
go
I didn't know
back
that.
to 2014 when we started working together because Gianluca became one of the clients at Gino at Colangelo Partners. To be honest with you, and I'm not saying just because there's Gianluca here, I've always admired Gianluca's energy and positivity, and obviously is one of the best ambassadors of Prosecco Superiore. And I think we need to tell the audience and the lovers of Italian wine how important it is to learn more about Prosecco Superiore and the differences between Prosecco in general, you know? So that's
Yeah,
the
I
main reason.
actually, yeah, I met Gianluca. It must have been through you guys in the very beginning of my wine career as well. And I was most impressed with his mustache and the way he was so dynamic. So I do recall Gianluca as well during my early years of wine career. By the way, Alessandro, do you know I'm writing a book with Gino?
I didn't know that.
Yes. So we're coming with the book. Okay, get ready. It's going to be wine, social, PR, and media relations. And it will be dedicated to the US market. So get ready for that. That's exciting. Will be Gino's first book.
Sign me up for the first copy.
Yep. We're going to have to make you pay a premium since you've been through both Gino and I've worked with you as well. So
Don't worry,
listen, getting
I'll
back.
expense it with Wilson Daniels. That's okay.
That sounds like a plan. So, we get a little bit of, kind of geeky around here. As you know, you're the Italian wine ambassador at large. What are the learning objectives today that we should be expecting you from your call with Gianluca?
Well, the main objective here, as I just mentioned, is to really focus a little bit more on Prosecco Superiore, DOCG, as a different category than the rest of Prosecco, as most consumers know. And Gianluca couldn't be a better person to describe this, to describe the appellation, and then take a little bit more of knowing about Gianluca and his experience in the market and his plans for the future.
Okay, I'm very excited. So I'm going to turn over the mic to you. But I just want to give a shout out to our Italian wine ambassadors at large who's joined us today. Angelo, Christina, Maurizio, and Fermented Boss. That's obviously Hugh. And Yvonne, Olivier, Kevin, Julia, Ciro Pirone, who I have not seen in a very long time. And of course, Tushar just showed up. So the mic over to you, and I'll come back later towards the end of the show.
Thank you, Stevie. That's probably the best presentation ever I could expect. Yeah, let's get into this. I'm gonna say a few words about Gianluca, and then we can start the interview. So, for the people who don't know, Gianluca comes obviously from the Bisol family in Valdobbiadene, and is in the family business since his father Antonio, grandfather Desiderio, and he became passionate about the old winemaking from a very early age, and then currently is a Bisol 1542 ambassador and honorary president, which is a winery noted for the purest expression of Prosecco Superiore and rooted for over 5 centuries in Valdobbiadene since 1542, as the name of the brand says. And Bisol 1542 has always been, authoritatively and innovatively interpreted the heroic hills of Val d'Obianere. And Gianluca has dedicated his professional career to the enhancement of the territory and the excellence of Veneto wines. So, Gianluca, are you
Ciao,
with me?
Alessandro.
I hope that's at least a little bit good as a presentation. What do you think?
I think that you are the best. You, Alessandro, know very well all my story, also before we start to work together with Wilson Daniels. So I'm very happy to be here today with two big friends, Stevie and Alessandro, that helped me a lot to improve my opportunity to introduce the best quality of the Prosecco Superiore in the market. That is not an easy job because, many people think at the Prosecco like the second sparkling wine in terms of quality, and I'm not. I don't agree, because it's a very original interpretation inspired by the nature.
And we're looking forward to hearing from you, Gianluca. I actually, fun enough, I learned for the first time that I heard about your wines was before we started working together. I received a bottle of Bisol Prosecco Superiore Crede as a Christmas present in 2013, and shortly after, you became one of the clients at Colangelo Partners. So it was a total coincidence, and I'm glad that happened. So let's go into the first question here, Gianluca. If your grandfather Desiderio, which was obviously a master for you and a big teacher for your work, if he was alive today, what do you think he would say about the success of Prosecco around the world?
My grandfather Desiderio, that also was the name was for the friend and for the family was Geio. The real name Desiderio, but the nickname Geio. He can't imagine what happened in the last 40 years because nobody, also my father, didn't think 40 years ago that what happened now was possible. The first thing that my father told me 37 years ago when I started to work in the winery was, sorry, Gianluca, you arrived a little bit too late because it's 10 years that the Prosecco is growing. And I think that now will be the beginning of the end of this success. And this was in 1987, when Prosecco was sold only in Veneto region, a little bit in Milan and a little bit in Rome, but not abroad. Because everybody in the region, also my family and all the producers, think that Prosecco was not able to travel, was not able to age, was not able to survive after 1 year from the harvest. And now you know that is incredible what happened. So I think that my grandfather Geio can't see can't know can't it's not possible for him to see what now he is. It's like for us to see another planet because the Prosecco was very local wine, and it's incredible that in few years, in 40 years, become the best seller sparkling wine in the world.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the things have turned around quite quickly for Prosecco around the world, and even more so in the United States. And that's why I want to ask you if you remember the first visit you came to the U.S. to sell Prosecco. When was that? And if there's anything you like to tell us about the first reaction of people learning about Prosecco in the U.S. market.
Yes, I remember very well when I convinced my father to give me the money to travel to try to sell Prosecco all around the world, and my father told me it's not possible. But if you want to try, if you want to have some few days of holiday in big city, I help you. So I started to travel, to fly to London, to New York, and my strategy was to have 3 lunch and 3 dinner in the same day. because my strategy was to know the best restaurant in the cities and the best sommelier and the best owner of restaurant, and ask them to try my Prosecco and to help me to introduce this wine in the market. I was convinced that everyone in the world would like to try something new every day. And at the end, they helped me a lot. And at the beginning, there wasn't any Prosecco in London and any Prosecco in New York. So it was a really big work that we do, me and other small producer of Valdobbiadene. And at the end, now you can see that there are in many restaurants there are more than one Prosecco in the wine list, and the market is growing and growing and growing. Also in the fine dining, and last but not least was something that surprised me was in the last 3 years that someone asked to start to ask me also all the vintages of Prosecco. When you think about 40 years ago that everybody in the area of Prosecco Superiore think that there was no possibility to taste the Prosecco after 1 year. Now you can taste also Prosecco of 5, 10 years, and the evolution of the flavor is incredible.
Yeah, I completely agree. And obviously now, because of the history of your family and because of the positioning you're putting yourself with the brand Bisol in the category, the whole focus is on Prosecco Superiore. So you've been traveling quite a bit now in the United States, and you're even going to be here the next couple of weeks. But what is the perception of Prosecco Superiore from your point of view compared to the rest of Prosecco, and do you find interest in the audience in learning about an higher level of Prosecco where like the word obviously is extremely popular in the wine world in the US, and a lot of consumers understand the word Prosecco, but not necessarily Prosecco Superiore. What is the type of perception you get from them and the reaction?
In my opinion, there are an incredible opportunity in the future to increase the knowledge about the Prosecco. Speaking about Prosecco Superiore, we needed to be more connected with producer to have to call the Prosecco Superiore, because you know that many winery want to call him only Valdobbiadene, forgot the word Prosecco. I don't agree. I think that we created the success of Prosecco in Valdobbiadene, and now we have to underline that is the superior Prosecco, and this is more easy also for the customer to recognize. And every time that I go around the world, and in particular in the United States, I see the big surprise of the people when they taste my Prosecco Superiore, because they say I didn't know that there was a similar quality. And for us, it's very important to tell this and to organize a lot of tasting, because every tasting is a great occasion to bring a new wine lovers in the category of the quality. So we need to be clear, all the producer in the market, to speak about only one name of this kind of Prosecco, so Prosecco Superiore. And we need to give many opportunity to the customer to taste, because when they taste, they know, they understood, they understand it, and they start to ask only Prosecco Superiore, because when you know the best category of a wine, you continue to ask the same. It's like Chianti and Chianti Classico is Champagne Premier Cru, or Champagne Grand Cru, and the same for Bordeaux. For any kind of denomination in the world, there are different level, and the success depending only from the energy of the producer in the market. And I think that there are great opportunity.
Understood, and I agree. But I'm going to put you a little bit on the to the test right now. So let's assume I'm a consumer that walks into a wine store, and wants to buy a bottle of Prosecco. Okay, I just come in and I say I want a bottle of Prosecco, but you are the wine store owner or sales assistant, and you try to sell me to a Prosecco Superiore instead. What are the main selling points that you would tell me in order to make me spend a few more dollars on that bottle to get a Prosecco Superiore?
First of all, I will tell you that for any kind of wine in the world, there are positions of the vineyard in which the quality become incredible height. And speaking about Prosecco Superiore, I will tell you that this is the original area of the Prosecco, in which the Prosecco is produced in the hills, very steep hills, and in which everything is doing by hand, because it's very steep the vineyard. So if you want to have the best expression of this kind of category, Prosecco, the wine Glera, you need to go in the upper position in the hills, because this kind of grape is one of the most sensible grape in terms of excursion of temperature, kind of soil, and exposition and wind. And only in the hills you can have the biggest excursion of temperature and the biggest condition of wind and kind of soil. So if you want to have a good Prosecco, you have to spend a little bit more, few dollars more, but at the end you will enjoy an incredible wine.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. These are like kind of the main points we've been telling consumers and trade people in the business to really make the message go through and understand that just for a few more dollars, there's a lot more to enjoy to that than just to buy a simple bottle of Prosecco. And I remember a quote very well from Ian D'Agata, which you know very well, saying that the Prosecco Superiore DOCG is definitely one of the DOCG in Italy where the difference between the DOC and the DOCG is more striking in the quality versus other areas where sometimes there cannot be as much of a difference. So and I agree with the statement. So, but let's talk a little bit about what you've been doing at the winery. So in the last few years, what investment have been made by Gruppo Lunelli for the Bisol 1542 vineyards and the winery to further increase the quality of your Proseccos?
First of all, we do an incredible job in the vineyard to recreate biodiversity inside the vineyard, planting also tree of all the kind of fruit and many flower. And we do a big job in this direction. That was also something in which originally my family was totally involved in this kind of target. But now we are doing an incredible job in the vineyard. And you know that we own 20 plots in the highest and steepest hills of Valdobbiadene and Conegliano. So we have an incredible biodiversity in our vineyard. We are proud to say that we didn't own any square meter of flat vineyard, only in the steepest hills of Valdobbiadene and Conegliano. So very hard to work, but with an incredible soils, incredible excursion of temperature, and we do this great attention to the vineyard. So in the winery also we invest a lot of money for creating a similar place like a caveau for the different cuvée and the different soil that we obtain from our vineyard. You know that we have 5 kinds of soil, thanks to my grandfather Gio, that 70 years ago decided to create 5 different Prosecco, because he recognized that each kind of soil give a special character to this very sensible kind of grape that is Glera grape. So we have 100% clay soil, 100% calcareous soil, 100% marne soil, 100% morenic soil, and 100% sand soil. So it's very interesting that now, thanks to this incredible investment, we own in the underground winery a cuvée of 20 different tanks, tank with controlled temperature underground, so no light, no temperature is constant also in the ambient. And this is amazing because you can come inside the winery to visit the winery in this modern part with the old controlled temperature tanks. And in the other side of the same level of the winery, you can see the oldest part of the winery that is more than 200 years old. So it's beautiful to see this connection of the past and the future in the wine production.
Absolutely. From a winemaking standpoint, also Bisol 1542 has introduced innovations with the new Gondolieri label for the Val d'Obbiadene and Prosecco Superiore. Can you please speak more about the new winemaking technique you're using there?
Sure. So Gondolieri is a kind of celebration of the history of Prosecco Superiore and the history of Venice, because as you know, the gondoliers, men in the lagoon of Venice, are like us in the steeped hills in Val d'Obbiadene. They do everything by hand, no engine. So the boat are pushed with the hand, and they have a long tradition. They have centuries of tradition, like us, and they do all by hand. But also the boat, the gondola, is made with 7 different kind of wood. Like we have 5 different kind of soil in our area. So we decided to create this connection with the association, the oldest association of Venice, the Gondolier Association. But for doing this, we also create Prosecco inspired by the past, because not many people realize and think that why Prosecco is a sparkling wine. Prosecco is a sparkling wine, is one of the few sparkling wine in the world that born without any ambition to be similar to champagne. At the opposite, Prosecco don't want to be similar to champagne. It's a total different story. So, first of all, Prosecco is a sparkling wine because 100 years ago, the grape was harvested at the end of October, beginning of November. And when the grapes arrived in the winery, the cold temperature of the winter stopped the fermentation naturally. There wasn't the steel tank with control temperature. There was a small wood barrique and wood tank and cement tank. So the temperature was by the nature. And so the wine 100 years ago remained a little bit sweet all the winter. And in the spring start again to ferment, and was a big surprise from all the families that produce this wine. And at the end, this inspired the winemaker to create a protocol that reply this kind of natural effect of the temperature. So Prosecco is a sparkling wine born and inspired by the nature. And so we do the same for this gondolieri. So we bring all the grape from the Marne soil vineyard. We press the grape, and after the pressing the grape, the juice is separated in 2 parts. 53% remain juice at very low temperature, and 47% is fermented, like happened for all the sparkling wine and Prosecco in general. Is fermented like from juice to wine. And after, in February, we put together the 2 bases, the juice with the wine, and the fermentation start again naturally, like happened 100 years ago. So it's a celebration of the history, of the natural history of Prosecco, of the inspiration of the nature, and at the same time, a big thanks to Venice to be the portrait, the wonderful portrait for the Prosecco production, because, you know, in Venice there are no any places that don't have a bottle of Prosecco. So you can find Prosecco everywhere in Venice, and many people in the world that come in Venice and fall in love with this city is also fall in love with this city with a glass of Prosecco Superiore.
And also it connects to the kind of current trend in the market where there are consumers are looking into lower alcohol wines, even though here is slightly lower than the regular Prosecco. We're talking about just 1 degree lower, right?
Yes,
But it's
because
still kind of, it gets a little bit in that trend as well.
yes, but this is not for the trend. We do this. This happened because we didn't use sugar like happen for any kind of sparkling wine and champagne in the world. That for the second fermentation put a lot of sugar for the second fermentation for the yeast. The start the fermentation only with the sugar added. For the gondolieri, the sugar is not added. It is the sugar of the part of juice that remain juice thanks to the low temperature. So at the end, the final result is also that there is a 1 degree alcohol less, but also it's important to underline that is not something that is more light. At the end, it's light in terms of alcohol, but it's not light in terms of body because you know that the sugar added for the second fermentation is like to put water in the wine. So it's also a dilution about 4%. Because the sugar have no flavor, so it's like a dilution. And with the gondolieri, there is not this effect of dilution, so the Prosecco is more concentrate, more rich of flavor.
Okay. So what, in your opinion, what are the main activities that the consortium, the DOCG, Prosecco Superiore Consortium, and producers should do in the US market to further expand the messaging on Prosecco Superiore?
For sure, I think that first of all, we need to have all the products the same easy name to remember in the label. So Prosecco Superiore, not like now that there are 8 different kind of name in the labels. There is someone that call him Valdobbiadene, other that call Conegliano, other that call Prosecco di Valdobbiadene, other Prosecco di Valdobbiadene di Conegliano, other Prosecco di Conegliano Valdobbiadene, others call Prosecco Superiore, and many people call him Prosecco DOCG. That doesn't mean nothing for the customer. So at the end, first of all, have all the products the same name in the label. So if you come in a wine shop, you see Prosecco DOC and Prosecco Superiore DOCG. So it's more easy to understand and to realize that have sense to spend a little bit more for quality. At the same time, work hard in the wine shop to create knowledge about the Prosecco Superiore and speak with images of the beautiful hills of Valdobbiadene that, as you know, since 2018 has become a UNESCO heritage. So we have a wonderful picture to show or videos that underline how different is to work in the hills and how big potential that there is in the position of the hills, thanks to the position that we are in the middle from the sea, from Venice Adriatic Sea, 50 kilometers around 35 miles, and 35 miles also from the Dolomites. So during the day in the hills of Valdobbiadene, we have a big excursion of temperature thanks to these 2 very near position and 2 kind of wind. One is a very nice wind from the sea, and another one is a very cold wind from the Dolomites. So underline this natural effect of the microclimate and show to the final customer that there is something that is special. And at the end, we have also we need to underline that every 8 bottle produced of Prosecco, only 1 is produced in the historical area of Prosecco Superiore. And also speaking about Cartizze, because as you know, Cartizze is only 1 hill, so it's only 1 bottle of Cartizze every 800 bottle of Prosecco. So is something that can remain in the mind of the wine lovers. And I think that after this information and the opportunity taste the quality, they can't buy cheaper Prosecco of the DOC area.
Yeah, these are all great points. I would add the fact that we need to have more influential people between press and even buyers coming to Valdobbiadene and really experience the landscape and the whole approach to viticulture when making there, because these are the rolling hills of Valdobbiadene are definitely a striking image that when you get there, it is something that I would say most people wouldn't expect unless they know more about the appellation. And once you're there, you really understand the whole quality and the approach different that you're doing in Valdobbiadene versus the rest of the DOC area. And I completely agree with you about using the word superiore next to Prosecco more than Valdobbiadene itself, because Valdobbiadene for an English speaker is kind of a hard word to spell and to pronounce. Superiore is very similar to superior in English, and it's kind of pretty evident meaning, which is superior Prosecco. So that's definitely a point to focus on. So all Bisol 1542 wines historically are interpretation of the soils and vintages. How do you see the denomination of Prosecco Superiore DOCG, let's say 10 years from now, like in the future?
In the future, the Prosecco Superiore will grow because we have an incredible quality, and I think that the consortium is growing in terms of strategies, and I think that we will have also many other markets in the world to improve. And for sure, when the people will know exactly that there is this high level of Prosecco, the people will decide to bring this. So the future of the area will be great. We need only to be more clear in the market, to have a strong strategy, and the connection with the producer with the same goal to have.
I understand, and I agree. Definitely, the strategy has to be one direction for for overall the producers in the area, trying to expand the messaging in the export market is going to be extremely important. Mostly in a market like the US, which is pretty fragmented, and we need to have a strong messaging across the board for all producers coming to the market. Now let's leave this conversation for a second, and let's get into more your own personal views. So, which other Italian sparkling wine do you foresee will grow interest among consumers in the next few years, besides Prosecco, obviously?
I think that there is not many space for big numbers like Prosecco, because it's something that happens every 500 years, a similar success like Prosecco had. If you think that in 40 years he grown from 18 million bottle when I started to work in the winery, or 18 million bottle of the producer from all the 25 wineries that there was 40 years ago, and now is from 18 million bottle is around 800 million bottle, and 700 wineries. If you think that the beginning was 25 and now 700 is incredible. So I think that there will be no other space to big numbers in the future of sparkling wine, but there will be very interesting niche of quality for also for the other method to produce sparkling wine, that is the champenoise method, or traditional method, or classic method, produced in the different region of Italy. And you know that I'm a big fan of Ferrari Trento DOC, and I think that the big altitude, the altitude of the vineyard that Ferrari own in the best position of Trento give an incredible quality and crispness in the sparkling wine. But also I'm very convinced that also sparkling wine with the champenoise method from local autochthon variety in the different region of Italy can be another very interesting experience for the sparkling wines. So, for example, speaking about Grillo in Sicily or Moscato or in Asti or Yellow Muscat in Veneto region or many other variety in Italy, Verdicchio method, classic method. There is something that is incredible, interesting. Also for the Glera, we can produce champenoise method. All the local variety are very interesting in terms of expression. With the second fermentation with classic method, with lower contact with the yeast, because we need also to preserve the original flavor of the grape. But this can be very interesting niche market for the future.
Yeah, these are all great examples. I would say there's definitely a lot of opportunity out there. Volume is definitely going to be like an obstacle for some of these wines, and also for a market like the US, where there's sparkling wines coming from all around the world, it would definitely be a lot more competitive. But yeah, I think there's a chance to get a space for some of these into the kind of a larger stage at some point. So you've invested in other wine properties in Veneto. I mean, you are definitely a big ambassador, not only for Prosecco, but for Veneto wines. And notably, you've been investing in Colleogani in Venice and recently in the Dolomites as well. So what are the reasons you believe those areas are worth your attention, and also from a financial investment, not only from like a quality, a potential of quality wines investment?
I think that first of all, I consider myself not only a winemaker but also a wine lover. I really love the wine and I enjoy the wine all around the world. So when I see something that is very interesting, very original, very different from all the other wines, I'm excited. So when I saw the Dorona grape in the lagoon of Venice, that was an autochthon vine of Venice, produced only in the island of the lagoon in the last centuries, and in the last 30-40 years was forgotten because the people left the small island to live in the big city or in the mainland. I was excited to recreate this very hot tradition of this incredible white wine, still white wine from the lagoon, with this autochthon kind of grape and this incredible method to produce this wine that is a still white wine ready only not before 5 years after the harvest. And speaking about Colleogani, the reason I was really surprised when I met Elisa, my business partner in Maeli Winery, that had the idea, like we say before, like she had the idea 15 years ago to create a classic method from yellow muscat, and in particular the yellow muscat from the Colleogani, that is the only area in the Veneto region that is 100% of volcanic origin. So is an interesting niche of the Veneto areas in the hills of this volcanic origin, in which there is the highest biodiversity in all Europe, because is the only place in Europe in which you can find the 54% of the flora, all the Mediterranean basin. So it's something that is incredible in terms of biodiversity. So when I had this opportunity to invest in the idea of Maeli Elisa, I do, because it's an incredible niche in the world of wine, and I love the niche of the wines. And finally, when I had the opportunity to meet two incredible men in Cortina that was people that have an incredible experience in kind of wine, like Francesco Anaclerio, that is the main that have the micro vinification of the biggest number of wine in the world, more than 600, because was the in charge of the research of the biggest farm for producing vines in the world, that is Raucedo. And I met with him also Fabrizio Zardini, that is a recruitment for the kind of wine consultant in Italy from Sicily to Alto Adige. He know very well every kind of wine. And when they had this incredible idea to challenge the highest altitude in Europe, to plant a vineyard in the pearl of the Dolomite, this Cortina d'Ampezzo, I want to become involved in this incredible challenge. And after 11 years of experimental of all the vines that was more adapted for this incredible situation of altitude and discussion of temperature, we decided which wine was the perfect. And so we had the first harvest in 2021, and we produced a very small quantity, very few bottles, not more than 100 bottles per year of this Champenoise classic method, Champenoise method, from the Incrocio Manzoni 6013 and Solaris together. So now I can tell to have two extreme wines. One is from the highest vineyard in Europe, in Cortina d'Ampezzo, and the other one is from the island, the island, this little island in Venice, in which you know that sometimes the water come up. So we have the most proof vineyard in Europe, in Venice, and the highest vineyard in Europe in Cortina. In the middle, we have Maeli in the Oganian Hills and Bisol in the historical hills of Prosecco Superiore. And also we create an incredible opportunity of wine experience in Venice, because in front of the vineyard we have a star Michelin restaurant, the name is Venissa, and also 18 rooms, and also an osteria. So we can create an incredible opportunity of wine experience in a wonderful island in the lagoon of Venice.
Yeah, that's amazing, and we can definitely say that your creativity and vision is second to none in terms of like exploring different areas, and really believe in making wines differently than most producers would do, and that's a credit to you, Gianluca, because you put a lot of effort on developing these type of wines, which still are part of your vision of the great indigenous varieties from Veneto. So that's definitely we have to give you credit, and a big testament to you. And then it brings me to the last question, which is, we've been knowing each other for now 10 years, pretty much. And as I mentioned and earlier in the introduction, you always fascinated me for your good spirit, positive energy. I probably never seen you like sad. You always like bring a lot of enthusiasm in the market. And I want to know your secret.
Drink Prosecco Superiore every day.
I love that. That's a great question. That's a great answer.
Yeah, like my grandfather tell me, you can't buy the happiness, but you can start with a glass of Prosecco Superiore.
Yeah, definitely. That's the way to start and the way to finish, I would say. So, is there any questions?
There you go. Bravi ragazzi. Of course, I always have questions.
Good. Bravo, Stevie.
Okay. So, Gianluca, kind of a big question. What are the biggest challenges facing Prosecco industry today, in your opinion? And how is Bisol specifically addressing them?
The big challenge is to understood that we don't have to be this sensation to be the second sparkling wine in the world in terms of quality. We have a different method. We have a different kind of grape. We have a different history. So we can also have ambition to have the same authority in the bubble like champagne have in the classic method. So I think that we have a great opportunity. There is a space for highest and the highest level of quality of Prosecco, because people wanted to try something different every day, and we have this incredible opportunity to be different. We are inspired by the nature thanks to this kind of terroir and to this kind of grape, and this is not is something that is not easy to find, and we have under our eyes. So we have to be proud and to say the word that this incredible wine is different and proud to be different. And so we have also the opportunity to show how interesting is also the evolution of this wine during the years. I love now to have wine tasting of Prosecco Superiore of different harvests, 10, 15 harvests. And it's incredible how the original flavor of fruit and flower come out in a different way after years. I remember when I opened at the bottle of 77 Cartizze with Tom Stevenson a few years ago, and Tom was surprised about this incredible evolution.
When does it reach its peak before it plateaus? It doesn't get any better.
I think that Cartizze can be drinked also after 30 years. If it's produced by wineries very serious like us and many other wineries from Valdobbiadene, you can drink the Cartizze if you bring the bottle in the right place after 30 years. It's incredible, the evolution. And also another soil in our area, you remember before the 5 soils, I tell my grandfather that decided to separate. Another great soil that have a great evolution in the years is the morenic soil. That is, the kind of soil with a lot of round small stone that give a lot of minerality. Is the only place in which we produce a Prosecco Superiore extra brut, so with 2 grams of sugar residual per liter. So it's like a pas d'osé, more or less, or pas d'osé. And also in this kind of soil, we can guarantee an incredible evolution for decades.
Have you tried la Cartizze like 30 years ago?
Unfortunately, not. I didn't.
Yeah, I've never had done that either. So, Gianluca, you're going to have to step up to the plate and make this happen.
Exactly. I can't wait. The only problem was that there is very few bottle of decades ago, because my father and my grandfather didn't know about this opportunity of evolution, and they didn't bring the bottle in the winery for the evolution.
Yeah, they didn't save many bottles.
Exactly.
Well, it's very interesting. I didn't even know that you could drink Prosecco from 30 years ago. My next question has to do with AI, because this year Wine to Wine is dedicated to AI and wine, all different aspects of winemaking, wine communication, wine logistic, and how it has become a tool for AI. So I guess my question to you is, how do you see the role of AI and other digital technologies in the future of winemaking or marketing, for that matter?
But for sure, in the vineyard will be incredible the improvement that this kind of technology can give it to us. I image a drone and also other machine that come inside the vineyard and help us to be precise in the vine growing. With the AI, you can teach to the machine, the computer, to recognize every single aspect of the grape and the leaf in the vineyard, and to help us to have very, very precise intervention in the vineyard without spray everywhere, for example, or without cut everywhere the leaf, but doing very precisely, looking with a special machine where the machine can cut the leaf. You know that
so
is difficult.
Yeah, so it's actually called precision viticulture, and there's a reason for that, I suppose.
Yeah.
And what about in communication or marketing?
For communication and marketing, I think that the human presence is very important, but for sure the IE can help us to have a precise also analysis of what happen every day in the market. I think that there are a small signal in the market that is not easy to bring with normal life or normal human, but with the machine, I think that analyze the data every day can help a lot the producer to be more connected with the wine lovers.
Okay, alrighty. And that is a wrap for today. I'm going to close up the room. Hope to see you both very soon. Thank you for making this happen, Alessandro Boga and Gianluca Bisol. And it is a wrap. When was the last time you did the Ambassadors Corner? Was it with Marco?
Yeah, it was with Marco Pry. I believe it was about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Something like
that's
that.
when we started during the pandemic. I'd say
yeah.
actually that was a very popular show, believe it or not.
Yeah, Marco is a big dog, definitely.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Gianluca's a big dog with the mustache too.
But we're gonna have even better following with this one.
Okay.
I'm sure. So.
Very good. Thank you very much, you guys. Ciao, ragazzi.
Grazie,
Stevie. Ciao, Alessandro.
Ciao. Alla prossima.
Ciao. Thank you.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.